Hi, my name is Louise Nealon and I'm delighted that Waterstones has asked me to do a video of 3 books that have influenced me. Before I start with the 3 books, I just want to introduce you to my debut novel, Snowflake. So Snowflake is a story about an 18-year-old woman called Debbie who lives on a dairy farm, and she's beginning to start university. She's commuting from her home in rural Ireland, and her mum believes that she's able to dream other people's dreams, and she thinks that she's passed this ability down to Debbie. Debbie's great friends with her uncle Billy, who lives in a caravan in the field out the back of their house, and Billy assures Debbie that all the dream stuff is nonsense and for her to really take her chance at university. So when Debbie starts university, she begins to realise that everything is not quite what it seems, and she also begins to have very strange dreams. So it's taken me the guts of 10 years to write this novel, and I'm so glad that it's out in the world right now. And if it seems like your type of thing, I'd be so excited for you to read it. But enough about me and this. So I'm going to get started on 3 books. So the first one is Sunbathing in the Rain by Gwyneth Lewis. And it's a tagline, a cheerful book about depression. And Gwyneth Lewis is a poet. She's a Welsh poet. And this is the first book that I read about mental health that really spoke to me and seemed true to my life, and that I could apply it to my life. I love the way Lewis writes so creatively about her own depression, but also about how joyous the world is sometimes when you allow yourself to give into your own emotions. And it's a gorgeous book full of gems of wisdom. She includes newspaper articles, clippings, and quotes from other philosophers and poets. And every time I think about this book, I just smile. So that's the first book. I can't recommend it enough. The second book is White Houses by Amy Bloom. Amy Bloom's one of my favourite writers, and White Houses is about the time that Frank and Eleanor Roosevelt were in the White House, and Eleanor's best friend, Leonora Hick, comes to live with them, and Hick is a journalist, and she's the one who narrates this novel. And it turns out that herself and Eleanor Roosevelt were lovers. And I just think the premise for this book, it's inspired by real life events, and it's really difficult to work imaginatively with characters that are real. And I just think that Amy Bloom knocked it out of the park with this. It's like, do you know when a footballer scores a perfectly timed goal? I just think, like, I absolutely stood up, like, wanted to stand up and applaud her after I read this book. Hick is a brilliant narrator. Her relationship with Eleanor is just gorgeous and difficult, and it's warm and tender, and it's just such a brilliant read. So I very much recommend White Houses by Amy Bloom as well. And the last book is Joni Mitchell, in her own words, and it's in conversation with Malcolm Maron. And you can tell by reading this that Joni and Malka are friends. Malka's she was one of the first people to discover Joni when she went and heard her sing when she was a nobody in a coffee house. And these are just 2 female powerful souls sitting together and talking about the creative process. And you can tell that Joni trusts Malka with her words. I got so much laughs from this, so much gossip as well. It's great. Like, Joni said that her first husband, he told her, like, what do you know about life? She wrote Both Sides Now when she was 21, and he was like, what do you know about life? Like, that song is ridiculous. And look how far that song has gone. So it's just given me an absolute belief in the power of creativity, and it's an absolute pleasure to sit in on their deep and philosophical conversations. So thanks again to Waterstones for allowing me to present these 3 books and my own books. And Snowflake is out in shops and online now. Thanks very much.